Hey guys, all right, day 2 or episode 2. Let's get into it, right? Where am I going to get leads? How am I going to find clients? Where do I start? What do I do? You just came out of school and you're like, okay, now what? And you've been conditioned in school a certain way, right? To do everything right and to make sure that your contracts are good and that everything is perfect. And yet you get out in the field and you have no clue, like I mentioned in my other video, of where you're going, what you're doing, how you're going to get clients. So I've created a little bit of a roadmap on what to do as of day 1 to start getting leads, right? To start getting clients, to start establishing yourself as a realtor, right? So by now, I'm sure your family knows, right, that you're a real estate agent or that you're going to become one. Probably some of your friends know as well, and that's amazing. We'll get into that in a bit. So where do I get my first lead? How do I get my first client? How do I get my first sale? What's better, buyers, sellers, right? So first thing, as a new real estate agent, you want to do some sort of structure, right? You need to structure yourself as a realtor. You need to structure yourself as the go-to person in your market, in your field, in your sector, wherever you are. So whatever, if you're in Los Angeles or you're in, in Tampa Bay or you're in Montreal or wherever you are, you want to start by choosing the sector that you know the best, right? So possibly, and I highly suggest you use a neighborhood that you're very, very familiar with. I would probably start with the neighborhood that I grew up in, right? Because now you know the neighborhood, you know where the schools are, you know where the parks are, you know when the buses pass, you know where the bus stops are. You want to know this information as a base, so that when you're referring your clients to a certain sector, you start with that, right? Because you know what you're talking about, right? And over time you'll expand this, it will come, but you want to start with something you know really, really well. So before you do that, you need to have a map of your destination. Again, I've taken notes. I'm keeping this raw and real, as the page says. So I just have some footnotes to keep me on track, right? So you have to have a map. So you want to define your income goals. You want to define how much you want to make, right? Everybody wants to make $1 million, right? And is that possible? Absolutely. Is it feasible for your first year? Yeah, it actually is. I know people, I won't mention names, but I've met over the years people, as I've mentioned, in Craig Proctor and in Mike Ferry coaching programs, and others that have just naturally become that superstar broker, right? That one guy that makes $800,000 out of the gate, and that is awesome. I'm not that guy, and I'd say 90, maybe 95, maybe even 99% of us are not going to be that person, right? So you need to map it out. You need to say, okay, here's what I want to do, right? When I ask all my mentees or my team members at the beginning when they all start, how much do you want to make this year, right? And they'll say, 40,000, 50,000, 60, 80, 100,000, whatever that number is. Whatever that number makes sense to you, then that's the number you're going to focus on. But let's try with $100,000, right? $100,000 in today's market, your average commission is about $10,000, right? Average commission is $10,000. So if you do the math real quick, that's 10 transactions. 10 transactions, even if you push it to 12 just in case, that's not very much. That's one a month, right? Or even less than one a month. So how hard is it to get one? Yes, one transaction, one buyer, one seller, one commission. It's at the beginning challenging. Once you get going, it's not that much, right? So you want to map that out, and you want to take a vision board. I use, not a vision board, but I use a clear board, if you will. And this was taught to me by one of my mentors. And you want to you want to categorize it, right? So you're going to put month 1, 2, 3, all the way to 12. You need one transaction a month, right? How are you going to get that transaction? So you're going to map it out, and you're going to say, okay, year 1 I want to make 100,000. Year 2 I want to make 150,000. Year 3 I want to make, you know what I'm getting at, right? You also want to set up, as I mentioned, a vision board. The vision board is important. You want to, at the time, what we did was we took a cardboard from Home Depot or what's it called, Office Max or whatnot, or Bureau en Gros, just a piece of cardboard, and you cut out pictures of different things, right? Whether it be your dreams, right? Your visions, your vacations. So you want to go to the Exumas, right? In the Bahamas. You want to have a house. You want to buy a house or a condo. Cut it out. Put it on the board. You want a certain car, Mercedes-Benz. Cut out the Mercedes-Benz. Put it, or print it out in this case, and put it on the board. Your $100,000. You're going to put up $100,000. You can write it on the board. I want to make $100,000. And you're going to put this board somewhere where you're going to see it. You're going to put this board somewhere where every day, every morning, preferably, you can put it in your bedroom, which is something I did. You could put it in your office if you have an office, or in your kitchen. It doesn't matter. You can move it. You can, when you have guests over or whatever. But this is a constant daily reminder that that's your destination. That's where you want to go over the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 and 5, right? So that is important. You also want to commit to your goal. So if your goal is going to be one transaction a month, you need to commit to that one transaction a month. And we'll get into how we're going to do that in a bit. Also, you want to possibly take some courses, like I told you I did, where I leveled up, right? I got a mentor, then I hit a team, then I tried my best. After that, I went to Craig Proctor or Mike Ferry, and then Craig Proctor, and that worked for me. But you always want to be ahead of the game. You always want to be learning something at all times, just to keep in the loop, right? Even if you're a new agent, you're just absorbing stuff that you don't know, but it will come in practice, right? It will come. If you want, I can link. If you want, comment below, and I can email you or DM me, and I can email you some of these scripts, this actual map that I have here in front of me that I printed out, or different objections, right? You want to be learning stuff in real estate all the time, right? You want to use CRMs. You don't need to pay for them. They're free. Your real estate agency or your real estate board will give you a base model, right? You don't want to pay for, because you've had enough expenses at this point. You've paid for your real estate school, your business cards. It's overwhelming, right? So you want to make money, but you don't want to spend money, right? At least at the beginning, because it does cost money to be a realtor. So you want to use their CRMs. You want to follow up. There's little clicks, like places on the contact information. We'll get into how we're going to get them, but you want to take contact information, name, phone number, email, if possible, and you want to set reminders in that CRM to call people back. Maybe if you have their birth date, you want to write that down. If you actually do get a first transaction, you want to write down your transaction date, so that in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you can call them back and tell them, hey, it's your 5th year anniversary with the property, just checking in, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into all that. But you want to set up and time block. This was one really important thing for me. It helped me. As a realtor, I work 7 days, 6 days a week. At the beginning, at least it was 7. It was 14, 15-hour days. It was a lot. And it's very easy to pretend you're busy in real estate, and it's very easy to burn out as well, because you're trying to give it all you got. You're trying to push as hard as you can. You don't want to refuse any clients, so you're constantly running around and working. But it is important to maintain a balance, right? What do I mean by a balance? You want to set up from day one, if you can, time block, take your Google Calendar and literally time block some time for yourself, right? Whether it's a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, Thursday, Tuesday, whatever it is. For me, what works for me, now I have multiple businesses, so it doesn't work as much as it used to. But what I used to do was Friday. So Monday is my very busy day because of the weekend, right? So Monday's super busy. Tuesday is the follow-up of what I didn't get to on Monday. Wednesday is, okay, now I'm kind of balanced out. Where am I going? I need to be prospecting and getting clients. Thursday was the same thing. And then, of course, you're on the road, you're visiting homes, evaluating homes, whatever that case, whatever your workload is. So, but Friday, I would try and book as of 3 o'clock off, right? So Friday afternoon between 1 and 3, if it was possible, just book it off and time block it, respect your time. That would give me time to chill with my friends, to go do some shopping, go to Costco, whatever the case was. Saturday was the same thing. I get up early. I always did, because when I started real estate, I had my son, and so you had no choice to get up early. And so I would get all my emails and stuff done right away, as early as possible in the morning when it was quiet time before everybody woke up. And then I'd set up my day, and I'd hit it. And then Saturday by about 12, 1 o'clock, I want to be done. And I would then chill, right? Go with my friends, go swimming, go boating, go, whatever, barbecues. And Sunday was the same thing. So Friday afternoon, finish early. Saturday afternoon, finish early. Sunday, I tried not to work. I was not one of those guys that, and my friends could attest, no visits, what do you call it? Open houses. I don't believe in open houses. We'll get into that at another time. Open houses are very good for a starter agent, a beginner. Open houses are good to get leads as a beginner, but eventually, I like Sundays for family, right? So, but I had team members, and team members usually are newer brokers, and newer brokers want to do open houses because there's a lot of leads and a lot of potential you can get from open houses. So that's my take on that. But time blocking for yourself, for your family, for your mental health, for a bunch of great reasons, very, very, very important. The last thing I'm going to tell you before we get into where and how is you want to set yourself up as the real estate broker in your market, in your area. So how do you do that, right? You're going to take your Instagrams, your Facebooks. Facebook, even though it's kind of passé, very good for realtors, really good for real estate. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the social media, Snapchat, you want to use those as your vehicle of information to other people. What do I mean? So if you go out somewhere, right, and anywhere, you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, go to, coffee shop, Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons, whatever it is, most people are talking about real estate, right? And that's the number one question. It's almost like a running joke. That's the number one question we get, or I get as a realtor all the time. Like, as soon as they see my Remax pin, oh, you're a realtor. Yeah, how's the market, man? How's the market? Are we in a buyer's market? Are we a seller's market? Like, how's the market going? That's always the biggest and number one question we're going to get. So you want to be aware of your market, right? So how do you do that? You set up your socials, and you're going to share information, right? You have a ton of information available to you at all times. You can Google real estate Montreal area, boom, it's going to give you something. On your real estate board, your MLS, realtor.ca, your back-end apps, there are a ton and a wealth of information that you can not only study and brush up on, but share, right? So you take it, copy, paste it, boom, and you're going to put it on your feed, right? On your Facebook feed. You're not going to spam people. You're not going to, every day you're going to be posting. Not about that anyways. You're going to use those tools to establish yourself at the very beginning as a realtor, right? So by sharing different articles, different market trends, different what do you call it? Banking information, right? Different legislation, different terms of. You want to share stuff, right? And establish yourself as that person at the beginning. Now, where do you go from there? How are you going to get leads? Here's where you're going to get your leads. So, your first step is called your sphere of influence that we call, right? What's my sphere of influence? Who are these people? Who do I call these? So these people are your friends. These are your family members. These are your cousins. These are your uncles, your aunts. You're going to call these people. And you're going to take this seriously. It sounds ridiculous, but you're going to take it seriously. And this is what you're going to tell them. Hey, my name is, Frank Baker from Remax or whatever agency. And I just wanted to let you know that I am a realtor. And the reason that I'm calling you, this is a business call. It's not a pleasure call. And they're going to laugh and chuckle, and that's fine. Don't give up. You're in your role. You're going to say, look, I'm a realtor now, and I was just wondering, do you know anybody that is looking to buy or sell real estate in the next 2 to 3 months? And you're going to shut up. It's called the 1,000-pound lock. You're just going to shut it. The reason you're going to shut it is because the silence becomes very heavy, very awkward. And at this point, it's a game. The first one that talks loses. You're going to use that for a lot of things. This is where you're going to get your first lead. Always, right? Because your cousin, your friends, your sisters, your aunts, your uncle, whatever it is, they know people that are looking to buy and sell real estate, right? And you're not doing anything wrong by calling them to ask them that, right? So you're going to say, hi, my name is Frank from XYZ Realties, and I'm looking to know if you can refer me somebody that is looking to buy and sell real estate within the next 3 to 6 months. And you're going to shut up. You're going to take your pen and your paper, and you're going to start writing down what they're telling you. Because if you don't speak, they're going to feel awkward, and they're going to feel like they have to spit something out to you, right? Some will laugh, right? Some will say, no, I don't know anybody really. And then you're going to jog their memory, right? You're going to tell them, well, you don't have somebody, a coworker maybe, that you can refer me to, or one of your family members, on the other side, there's somebody always looking to buy and sell real estate, right? So that's where your actual first lead will come from. That's where your first sale is going to come from. I can pretty much guarantee that. So that's your first step, right? Your sphere of influence. That's where you're going to go, and that's where you're going to tap into. That's where you're going to get that lead. Now, you can also use your social medias. For example, you can post, if you have permission from one of your colleagues or one of your friends, to repost their home, right? So you find one of your colleagues at the office and you say, hey, look, man, I'm a new realtor and I'm just starting out. Can I help you with anything, right? You want to offer them your help. You want to offer them, what you can do, open houses. You want to help with contracts. You want help with, visiting with clients, whatever it is. You want to offer these people help. You want to choose the busier agents because these are the ones that are going to get you out on the road. But you can offer them your help. Now, once you've established that, then you're going to ask them for if you can share one of their listings, right? So what does that mean? It means they have a listing. You're gonna copy their ad. You're gonna take their ad with their home or their condo or whatever it is, and you're going to repost it, right? And you're going to say, hey, look, I just listed, or we just listed, you don't want to say I because it's not you, but you can say we. So we just listed a brand new home at 123 Main Street in Kentucky, and it is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom on 1 acre. It's got a swimming pool, kitchen has been updated, whatever the case is. You're going to share that, a video, and you're gonna post the home, right? That will bring you potential buyers, or at the very least, it will bring you traction to your page because you're sharing homes. What do people want to see? They want to know about the market and they want to see houses. It's like when you're going to go buy a car. You want to see the car. You don't want to sit with the salesman, right, at the table looking at pictures and numbers. You want to get out there and kick those tires, right? It's the same with houses. People want to see homes, right? Sometimes they just want to see homes they can't afford. You want $5 million homes, whatever. You want to call the agent. You want to say, hey, look, I'm a new agent. I'm trying something out. Can I please share your listing? And if something comes from it, great. 99% of the agents will tell you yes, right? They want the exposure. So it helps you, it helps them, right? That is another good source of leads. Also, marketplace. You're going to take their home, you're going to post their home on marketplace, and you're going to receive the calls. You're going to receive the leads. Now you got to filter these people out. We'll get into that, but that's how you start. Yes, you can also pick up the phone and make calls. If you're comfortable with that, then you can do that. You're going to call, and again, I have the scripts if you want. I can share them with you, but you're gonna pick up the phone. You're gonna call expired listings. You're gonna call for sale by owners. We call them FSBO. You're gonna call FSBOs. You're gonna call expireds, and you're just gonna call randoms, right? You're gonna check out and see who you can and who you can't call with the do not call list, of course. Always use that. But you're gonna call these people, right? And you're gonna say, hey man, I saw that your house is for sale. You're for sale by owner. We're working in the area. We just sold a couple of houses. We have some active buyers, and we were wondering what is stopping you from doing business with a real estate agent, right? They're going to say, well, I don't know, it's the commission. Okay, I can completely understand that. Would it be possible for me to come over and visit the house? Alone. I'm not going to come with any clients, and I'm not pretending that I have any clients. I would just love to come and see the home. I've really just started in real estate. I love real estate. Can I come and see the home? They'll tell you probably yes. You're going to go see the home. You're going to strike up a conversation. That is your best lead, because there's no pressure, there's no rushing, there's no, I'm trying to close a deal. You're just trying to have a conversation with a seller. That's your whole goal. That's what you need to be doing every day, is having conversations with sellers. So you need to get out there and get in front of people so that you could have that conversation and be likable, right? Be relatable with these people, right? So you're going to call this, these FSBOs, you're going to call expireds. Expireds, you're going to tell them, hey guys, I saw that you expired, and I was wondering, why do you think your home expired, right? And they're going to tell you, well, I don't know, the agent was an asshole. The agent, he put up the sign, never saw him again, or the agent, didn't take care of the listing, didn't do this, didn't do that. All these things that they're telling you, you're going to register them, and you're going to use them back to the client, because now you know what the client needs, right? Because that's what it's all about, is helping people, right? So you want to listen to what they're telling you, that the other agent or the reason that it did not sell is what? Why didn't it sell, right? So you can say, hey, I saw that your house expired, and I was wondering, why do you think the home didn't sell? And what did the agent do, or what did the agent not do? You want to get that information so that you can strike a conversation and get in the door at their house, right? They wanted to sell, right? What's the reason? That's the number one question. What's the reason that they wanted to sell, right? Oh, I wanted to sell and, buy a yacht, and I was going to sail to the Bahamas. Okay, well, what happened to that dream? Is that still something you're looking at doing? Yeah, so let's get it done. Let's see what happened. Why didn't your house sell, right? What did the agent do or not do? Was it the price? Was it the marketing? Was it just bad luck? Like, explain it to me, right? And you want to listen. This is something somebody taught me, which was phenomenal. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice, talk once, right? Listen twice more than you speak, because people will tell you the info that you're going to need to close that deal later. And you have to stick to it, because our job is A, to get the house sold, but B, more importantly, is listening to the client and taking care of their needs, taking care of what they want. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't it sell, right? So these steps are the steps that you're going to need and you're going to use to get out there, right? To establish yourself as a realtor, to get a plan together, right? I'm not much of a planner. I don't really write stuff down. That's not my thing. But I do, need structure like everybody does. So you want to get your plan, right? You want to get focused. Day one, you're a realtor. You want to make $100,000 a year. You know that the average commission is 10 grand. That's 10 deals. That's less than one a month, right? Now, how are you going to get there? What's your map? How are you going to do that, right? So you're going to set up your vision boards. You're going to set up your dream boards. You're going to set up your whiteboards, and you're going to put it all in there, and you're going to say, I need to speak to X amount of people today, right? I need to get in front of X amount of people this week so that I can hopefully close that one deal. And how are you going to do that? All of these ways are good. You know what worked for me? I absolutely, at the time, used to love to go out to restaurants. My day would be, I get up in the morning, like I said, 6, 7 a.m., do my stuff till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then I'd be, boom, out there on the road. And what would I do? I'd go have coffee, right? Coffee is $2. I'd go have a coffee and listen to conversations. It sounds a little weird, but it works. So I'd sit there and I'd listen to people talk about real estate, and then I would interject, right? Hey, here's my business card. I heard you guys talking about real estate. If you ever want to have a conversation, call me, right? And boom, they're going to start asking you questions. Some won't, most will. After that, I'd go for lunch, go to a restaurant, right? Sit at the bar. People are talking about real estate. And I would always wear my little Remax pin, and I still have it. Right now I'm at home, but I still wear my Remax pins. Why? Because people see it and they ask you questions. That's what you want. You want people to talk to you about real estate, and you want to know what you're talking about. So you're going to get that information. Like I said, Google it, matrix it, realtor.ca it, whatever your real estate board is, use it. They give you a lot of information. Take that information, study it, brush up on it, post it, polish it, regurgitate it out there to people so that you know it and they know that you're a realtor. And then get in front of these people and get into these conversations. That's what you need to be doing, all right? So that concludes episode 2. If you have any comments, any questions, you want me to talk about a certain thing or elaborate on something I said today or the other day or in the future, please comment down below and let me know what it is that I can help you with, all right? If not, I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.